Yeah, 30 seconds.
Waiting for the cameraman to give me the cue. Everybody join me in the pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Accept a motion to approve the minutes of 4/8/25.
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes of 4/8/25.
Second that.
Which is last.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None heard? Passed. Next is the treasurer's report. Authorize the payment of the bills.
Make a motion that we authorize the payment of the bills from the A fund vouchers number 106 through 177 in the amount of $317,000, $807.56. The F and G fund vouchers number 34 through 55 in the amount of $8,838.94. And from the T and A fund vouchers number 5 through 6 in the amount of $17,212.96.
I'll second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
I do have one thing of the A fund vouchers, $197,000 of that is for our brand new truck. All right,
And 56,000 is for a pass through for a housing grant.
okay.
And otherwise it's on.
Yeah. That takes the A fund is not as much as what it seems. All right, privilege of the floor.
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Thank you,
Right.
Mr. Mayor, for the time. I appreciate it. It's good to see everybody. A lot going on in Cortland County right now, so I hope you'll indulge me for a moment or two. We've got our upcoming legislative session this Thursday, 6 o'clock. There's a number of items on the agenda, but before I get to there, I do want to recognize the wonderful fireman's installation ceremony that was this last Friday. I was very happy to be able to attend that. It was a wonderful night, and want to thank the Elks and our volunteer first responders for everything that they continue to do each and every day. With the upcoming legislative session on Thursday, there's a couple of items that I do want you as the village board to be aware of. The first being Amnesty Day, obviously, is coming up this weekend, and we are authorizing the landfill amnesty credit this coming Thursday. So that's a good thing. We are also amending the tobacco and cannabis policy for Cortland County grounds. So there will no longer be any smoking on Cortland County property. We are also hopefully going to be appointing our next director for the Office of Aging, as that position has been vacant for a few weeks. So hopefully by end of Thursday, we'll have a new figurehead for Office of Aging. Finally, we are there's a vote for consideration of implementing a hiring freeze. That's gotten quite a bit of attention. I want to be clear. This is a 60-day hiring freeze. It would go until June 30. There are a lot of, I think, very nuanced perceptions and arguments on both sides of whether or not this will be effective in reining in county spending during a very difficult fiscal time. My own vote will be no on this for a variety of reasons I won't go into at the moment, but I welcome any opportunity to respond to questions either from you all or from members of the public as to the specifics and the details of that. Also want to update the board that the warming space at the Salvation Army, which is used to house unhoused individuals during our coldest months of the year, will be closing this week due to the expiration of Code Blue funding and the warmer temperatures now upon us. So that will be closing this week. And I think that's relevant public information for many. So that's all I have for you. Always happy to take questions and hear thoughts and concerns. Yes.
You mentioned, and I certainly hope it's not true, but I'm sure it is. The deficit expected for next year. 60 days of hiring freeze isn't gonna solve the number that I heard.
Yes.
Is there a plan to do zero budgeting, go from the ground up, kind of looking at other counties like Oneida County, because they're bigger than us, but they have a smaller budget. How are they doing what they do?
Right.
Because they gotta have the same mandates, and if they got more people, they probably got percentage, unless we got some kind of skew that makes our mandates a lot worse.
Right.
I don't know, if that number's correct, and you can mention it, and I won't for the camera.
Right, the number that has been tossed around is a $6 million hole in the county's budget next year, which is relevant for the taxpayers of Homer. It forces you to make adjustments to your budget. And yes, I care very, very much about what this will do to the tax burden once this occurs. At the same time, I also care that the county continues to provide the services that we are obligated to provide in the most cost-efficient way possible. At the same time, my philosophy is we as a legislature need to have a group conversation as weighing out all the services on the table and comparing the best we can apples to apples and saying which of these services, of these unmandated services, could we do in a way that is a bit more cost efficient, and we should be working with our department heads who are the experts on these matters. It's not us. We are not there
Oh, true.
24/7, you know, so we should be working with them and their deputies to identify ways that we can consolidate and be more efficient moving forward, because these are difficult fiscal times for everybody. So that's my belief at the moment. And of course, with the new county administrator coming in, we haven't identified a person yet. Hopefully that name will be released in the coming month. And that person will be hired. I look forward to that, but at this time, I don't think, especially with the transition and the county's management office, the administration office, I don't think that a hiring freeze is appropriate at this time.
I'm just afraid that they're gonna take a portion of it, say 50%, and take it from us again like they're doing. Because there's no reason why they couldn't,
Understand?
you know, so I got a feeling they probably will.
Reed, did they say how much they're looking to save with the 60-day hiring freeze?
No, I asked.
Okay.
No number has been given.
Thanks. Anybody else?
Thank you.
Reed, as
Thank
always, I
you.
appreciate you being here.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you.
Like being here.
All right. Anybody else for privilege of the floor? I know Jack, you'll ask your questions at the end. All right, old business. Just, so we had to make some adjustments to the salt shed application, which has already been submitted. And I'm waiting to hear back from Toma on the status for our linear park. All right, next up, new business. Approve the Pro Nexus contingency treasurer search agreement. We have been successful in finding an account clerk. We have not been as fortunate in finding a treasurer. So this is the contingency search fee agreement.
I noticed that they're paid by 25% of the first year annual salary.
Mhm.
What is the annual salary that's being advertised for?
The range that we're looking at is 65 to 70.
Competitive salary.
I think so.
We think so, but it's because of our area, there's pros and cons. And if we were up in Syracuse, it'd definitely be higher. It'd be about 75, 70, 75.
Mhm.
We're in the ballpark.
They also have bigger villages up there too, so.
Yeah.
You're talking 30, 3,100, 3,400 people there, so. You know, the manage, what do we have, 45, 55 employees total? 45 employees,
We have quite a bit of part-timers that come on board, so,
yeah,
but yes, it's,
yeah, so it's not, it's not. a
Well, I'm
huge-
wondering why you haven't been able to find somebody, if it's just salary or if it's a location or it's both.
when the county,
More in the private sector, I think the last
Yeah.
person we had in the position was able to move to a local medical center that paid a lot more for a similar
Yeah.
skill set. So it has to be a person who wants to work for a small municipality like Homer. And recently there have been similar positions available in, say, the city of Portland or with the county that paid higher, where the village would pay less. So, there are people who are drawn to work here because of the environment, because of, the collegiality, the
Well,
community.
we'd love to have someone
But
from
it's
Homer.
not-
the lesser stress, better. So,
A finance thing at SUNY at all, or they teach any of that business courses or anything? A new graduate might not be all bad. I mean, it is accounting, I mean, it's not rocket science, I mean, it's. It's not like we're,
Governmental accounting is a lot different than P and Ls for a business, so it's a lot different, a lot of moving parts that need to be taken care of. And that's also one of the reasons why you need a specific, somewhat specific skill set to do governmental accounting, and a lot of people just don't have that, and it's a big learning curve.
the county's sitting at about a 4% unemployment rate, which is considered full employment.
Yeah.
And then, we were looking at, surrounding areas, and they are all having difficulty finding the specific skill sets that Dan mentioned. But we are in the ballpark, we're in the, if we need to go up a little bit, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
and then you get pay raises over the year, so that's. If they heard 10 years, it'll be significantly more.
So I am looking for a motion to allow me to sign off on the ProNexus contingency treasurer search agreement.
I'll make a motion to approve the ProNexus contingency treasurer search agreement.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. All right, next up, approve the Homer Fire Department banner for the field day event. Pretty cut and
I
dried.
make a motion to approve the hanging of the Homer Fire Department banner for the field day event.
I
Goodbye,
second.
goodbye ducks.
Yeah.
On the field.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Carried. All right, next up, approve Homer Police Department crossing guard hire. And, Bob, what was her name again?
Rhonda Warner.
I just want to make sure I get that in there so we can, get this in the minutes and have it approved. So, looking to approve a Homer Police Department crossing guard hire Rhonda Warren.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And she's going to be a
Right.
substitute. So yeah, but thank you.
Work our way.
Next up, approve sponsorship of WXHC's Homer Music Festival.
Who would do that? Does anybody listen to that station? What?
Keep it up, keep it in bed for us.
I'll make that motion that we support the sponsorship for the festival. I think that's wonderful.
Okay.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved.
If we can't harass Jack, who can?
Yeah. Just remember it goes both ways.
I know, you can,
after my brother. All right, discuss and approve the town and village of Homer agreement on a one-time payment of $10,000 for the Homer Fire Department truck purchase. What this would be, Fran has looked it over, it's good. What it will do is the town of Homer will keep it in their coffers until such time as we actually do the truck. So because of the financial uncertainty, we don't know if we're gonna get the truck this year or not. So they will keep the money on hand. This is just a written contract that says when we do get it, they will provide the 10,000.
Oh, that's great. Go ahead.
So You wanna make the motion on that, Ed?
I'll look at fire first.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
I'm on it. I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the town, village and Homer agreement of a one-time payment of $10,000 towards the Homer Fire Department truck purchase. We've been talking about this truck for the past 6 weeks or so, and one of the real benefits of this vehicle is that I think it's gonna help the town because it's gonna help us to get to more rural situations that need assistance.
It's a
from
bug
our
fire,
department.
yeah, it's that kind of truck, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we got a motion, a second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Just also keep that in mind. It's the only thing that's going to be able to get over the Wall Street Bridge because we don't have an apparatus if something happens to Albany Street Bridge. So those residents on that side are pretty much going to be cut out to dry. So that's another thought process for those residents over on River Street and up that way to High Street. So that's why we were trying to push it to get to it.
Good idea.
You know, Jay, if you drive fast enough, you can get over any bridge once.
Yeah, that bridge isn't. Yeah, that bridge isn't very wide, so it might not make it.
All right. Discuss and approve the closing Dryden Bank account number 2468 and set funds for another purpose. Dan has been going through our accounts. We're trying to streamline them. We have a couple of accounts that frankly are just kind of not doing anything. This is one of them. Dan, what was the amount, 150?
150, a little over 150. So, okay, and it's an account that pulled over from when the village had Tompkins Square accounts. When we moved to Dryden, it was one that was already established. We did use it many years ago for a few large grant projects that we did long before the pandemic. But this 150 has been sitting there for quite some time. And previous moves to keep it not dormant was just move money out and move it back in. So it's just been sitting there. I believe my personal belief is it'd be great to put it in gen fund to offset some of the cost of the truck. That would be good to do. So, because we already now have a demand account, which is passed through for housing, CDBG, it's non-bearing interest, CDBG wants. We're gonna see if we can also commingle some other grants within the account. And if we can, we'll just have one grant account, that'd be good.
So this would be an effort for us to streamline accounts and it'll make it easier for accounting.
I'll make that motion and we close the account. Put the money into that special account,
The gen fund.
general fund.
Ed's got the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Let's see. I've got the machinery reserve funds here. Did we already?
That's just to show that we put 1,000 back, the truck was approved back in 2021. A DPW truck, and then we put 100,000 K in reserves. So that is also getting used, but you guys already approved that 4 years.
So this is I asked Dan to put these in here to show that our tracking of this truck that we purchased for 197,000 plus was actually ordered in 2021. We had set aside reserve funds, which you can see in the public hearing number 1, which is attached, and the December 14th, 2021 meeting minutes where we approved and had a public hearing. So the truck that we just received now in 2025,
4 years.
we had started the ball rolling on this in December of 2021.
Is that typical?
No.
What
Well,
happened?
this was post pandemic, everything was backed up.
Yeah.
And we knew going in that this was gonna take a long time. So we locked in the price at that time.
I get that, but if that's 4-year delivery.
Just think of the 20% inflation we had that we didn't see on this.
I'm not contesting that.
pretty slick.
I'm contesting the delivery.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
The time to deliver.
we probably save over 20% interest.
well, we approved this in December of 2021. So that's mostly 2022.
I get that
and
too, but that's still.
we got it
delivery.
in 2025. You know, 3 years, still a long time, but that's why I wanted to make sure that we had the background information, because over that amount of time, it can get foggy as to what was done and why. All right, let's see. I know this is our code enforcement officer's favorite month coming up, so this is a no mow May resolution. We have done this for the past 4 years, 3,
2 or 3.
at least 3. Yeah.
This is the third, I think.
So for discussion, we have a resolution to declare no mow May. I'll let Dan, how's your voice? You got this? All right.
Resolution to declare no mow May for 2025. Whereas plants of all types, including fruit crops, gardens, trees, and others depend on pollinators to reproduce, and whereas pollinators have been under significant anthropogenic pressure in recent years, resulting in significant decline. And whereas early spring is a time of vulnerability for pollinators as they emerge from hibernation and food sources are scarce. And whereas residential yards can be an important stopgap nectar source for pollinators if left to grow naturally during this critical period. And whereas lawn mowing removes flowers from violets, dandelions, and other flowering lawn plants, now therefore be resolved that the Village of Homer declares the month of May 2025 as no mow May and invites homeowners to register their properties to participate by pledging not to mow in the month of May. And be it further resolved that the Village of Homer Code Department is directed to not issue citations during the month of May 2025 for the lawn height for properties which are enrolled in the No Mow May program by May 6th, 2025 through the Village of Homer offices.
Discussion.
I like it. We've done it. It's a good thing.
Shall we,
I'll make a motion that we accept the resolution as presented.
Second.
all right, some other discussion is the key point, which is residents need to enroll in the No Mow May program. This is not a carte blanche. You have to sign up for that. And for those that are not interested in No Mow May, but still want to help pollinators, you can plant boxes of flowers and those work just as well.
You
So,
let your backyard grow if you have one.
well, that's part of the, yeah. So, motion second, all in favor? Aye. All right, motion carried.
Just register by May 6th.
Register by May 6th. We'll have the sheet in the front office. All right. Next up. Electronic Messaging Center, end of LED signage moratorium at the end of this month. One of the things that we will need to look at is we have to look at the zoning. That's why I brought the map out here. Most of the businesses that would be impacted by the LED signage are located in an R2 zone. We need to fix that first and then go back. We can do this concurrently with the LED signage. I'm gonna put out a poll for the board to see when everybody is available, so we can have a workshop on this. The zoning has been something we've discussed off and on for a while. We just need to get it done. It's impacting many other aspects of the village. I can't even remember the last time the zoning was updated, but as anybody knows, a lot of our industrial areas are no longer industrial. And we need to adjust this. So any other discussions on the electronic messaging center end of LED signage moratorium?
If we don't have a meeting before April 30th, is the moratorium canceled?
Well, it goes back to our current signage regulations, which would be covering under the R2, which means they're not allowed.
Oh, okay. Once they aren't gonna slip something in.
No,
Till we get it fixed.
Should turn into Vegas overnight.
no. We do have an issue with the FHN, which is wants a sign. However, they are zoned
E3.
B3, technically a technology park. So there's more leeway on that, and that would be more amenable to a variance on that regard.
No, B3 reverts back to R1, which is kind of ridiculous. But
Yeah,
that's
we
why
are-
they need the variance.
See, I thought that's why they were that's why I brought the sign in.
When is their opening, date, do we know?
Research and
Pretty
development.
close.
Pretty close, right?
Yes, it looks pretty finished to me.
We do have directional signage package in front of the ZBA on Thursday. Those aren't LEDs, those are directional signs.
For these guys?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
the
All right.
You're gonna, poll us through email?
Yeah.
Okay.
I keep screwing up the name of the one polling site that you can do the Survey Monkey. That's it.
Survey Monkey, yeah.
Yeah. All right, next is to discuss the village
How do you
financial.
screw that up? How, what do you do?
Well,
Survey what? Survey zebra?
well, no, because I was
Oh.
thinking like monkey something.
Oh, I see.
And forgetting the survey part,
Ah,
like that, yeah,
Monkey.
you can use your imagination on
Yeah.
that other part.
Hey, monkey's off my back, but the circus is still in town.
Yeah.
Just use dual poll.
Oh, doodle poll, that's another one. Doodle
Yeah,
poll,
we've been
that's,
doing doodles, not the survey one.
yeah, doodle poll, that's the one I was thinking of,
That's the one we've done in the past.
yeah. The collective hive mind bringing me back on track here. All right, the village financial updates. Pronexus, Jim and Mike are still slogging through some stuff, okay? We are not ready for, and the corrections they need to make impact the ability for the other team to complete the AFR. We are gonna file an extension for the AFR through the state. It's looking like we're gonna need it, so we better do it now. Dan will take care of that. We've got a meeting tomorrow morning with Mike, and we'll get a further follow-up on that. Some of these things were with the transition between two treasurers, a vacancy, and one of the account clerks. There was more issues to be fixed, and now they gotta do it. So, Dan, anything further to add on that?
Statement from Jim today was there's so much more heavy lifting. Yes. So but they're slugging through. They are.
Any questions on that?
No red flags identified yet? So far?
You know, some of the things have just been misfiled.
Oh, I
so-
understand that, but I mean, there's,
Yes, just
red
a
flag
number.
to me is like, really feel like we gotta call it Thompson,
No, just journal entries,
Oh, okay.
changing the codes for
That's the
various
heavy
expenses.
lifting, yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. All right, well, that's good, or such.
All right, comments by board members, well,
I don't have any, life's good.
okay. Ed,
It's not comments, more of a question. When, and this isn't maybe in our control, but maybe it is, I'm not sure. When are we going to hear more about DRI projects and their progress and status? All that sort of thing that seems to be hanging about and not much known.
so good question, and I can answer part of it.
Okay.
The DRI, once the DRI was awarded to the different projects, all those separate projects work directly with their agency that was awarded
Yes.
them. So a lot of it is with the separate project owners dealing directly with their state agency. I have a meeting with Alyssa on the 30th of April to discuss some things with the village because we've been kind of in limbo, prioritizing some other things. And I will be asking her about some of our projects and then also checking in with the other separate organizations to see how they're doing on that as well.
Okay, so the DRI was won by the village. Right? But the various projects in the village are the ones that are getting the money, I get that. So in a sense, are we a pass through? Does the money ever come to the village of Homer? And then we disperse, or does it go right from the state to the projects?
To the private developers, that we're not a pass through, but we do have our own projects.
Right.
One of which is a large festival grounds, that has lots of moving parts. That's definitely gonna be discussed on the 30th. Also have a, small project fund, which is around 500 or so, okay? That will go out to other businesses to do various projects that they need to spruce up their locations, things like that. All of which, most of these things where the state is demanding, we have to do an RFP to get a consultant to help with our projects, even though we have great experience in doing this. But even with the number of grants we have, the way the DRI is structured, we gotta do RFP, get a third-party consultant to help run all the various machinations that we have to go through to deal with doling out this money, doing our own projects, all that good stuff. So it's a deliberative process, and it's Byzantine in some areas.
Yeah, I can see that.
But having the outside consultants does help to protect, any sense that we are doling out money to specific
Right.
projects to reward.
No, I
something.
yeah, I
We're-
get
we're
that.
Keeping this, we had to do the legwork to get it here, but then in a lot of ways, some of the things are out of our hands because we're.
Yeah.
stuck with-
So some of the other projects, again, we don't know anything because they work directly with the state unless we do cross coordination just for information purposes.
Well, it seems like, since the village won the grant, the village should be more involved, or at least we should know more
Yes.
about how these things are proceeding. Because we're the legs on the ground, we might be able to offer some insight about the various projects, or at least how they impact the village and how the village can help actually
That's what
move
we've
them
been,
along.
we've been focusing on some of our other financial in housekeeping
Yeah.
right now. Now that we've kind of got that on track, the next is to work with the DRI. I'd like to get the DRI recipients all together so that we can work out through common air obstacles.
Yeah.
So that we don't have to reinvent the wheel over and over again. It's just we've got a lot going on.
Yeah,
and,
great. No, I get it. It seems like we could be helpful if we knew more.
The other thing too is it is a long process. This is something that through every DRI we have seen prior to us.
Yeah.
It's one of the aspects that's been frustrating. Hurry up, and then wait.
Right.
But no, we need to do a better job with information dissemination.
Well, you can't if you don't have the information.
Yeah. Well, we'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
No, it's one of the questions I get asked quite frequently, if I'm just
Same here.
about, what's going on? There's all this excitement and now we haven't seen anything happening.
So the next thing, you can say I've got a meeting on the 30th. Hopefully we'll get some more information. We can start moving forward quicker.
It'd be nice to link the RFP with some other projects that we have, smart growth update to our comp plan that we need to get a hold of. Seems to me DRI and comp plan would be joined at the hip. So that's one thing I want to bring up with this. Listen, we kind of talked about it a number of months ago. I'm really gonna push for that because I don't want to do a half dozen RFPs.
Ed, any other questions or issues or?
No, I'm sorry I asked so many questions, but.
No.
No, now's
Hey,
the
that's-
time.
I just
Now's
want
the
to
time.
understand,
Because if you're asking it, somebody else is thinking it.
yeah, well, thank you for your patience.
Liz?
So I was away last week and I missed two of my favorite events here in the village. I'm sorry that I missed this celebration at the fire department and also the village Easter egg hunt, but I do want to thank the work of the rec department, the SUNY women's basketball team, which stuffed the eggs for all of the children, and the members of the recreation committee who helped put it on together, and also to congratulate the fire department for another successful ceremony and for their continued support of the safety of people in the village and surrounding areas.
I'm gonna reiterate that. Jay, thank you for a successful installation dinner. Chief Pittman, thank you for your participation as well, always entertaining.
You're welcome, Mayor.
Some of my notes here. So this is for our community. as the spring, summer construction season is coming along, I know we're gonna have things in front of the planning board and the ZBA. If you have something before the planning board and the ZBA, your presence is required. Planning board members have questions, and if there's nobody there to answer those questions, your project is gonna get tabled, and nobody wants that. So if you have something before the planning board or the ZBA, make sure you were there, or you have a designated representative who can speak on your behalf. I say this so that you don't want your project delayed. I don't want your project delayed. Next up, with the construction season coming up, I got a nice little thing from NICEAG and RG&E. You dig. If you are planning on doing anything that puts a shovel in the ground, call ahead. All right, call 811 before you dig. This will save a lot of heartache. Nobody wants to hit a gas line. All right. Or power line. Next up is Arbor Day is this Friday, the 25th of April. No, we don't have any specific ceremony planned at this time, but we may have something later. Finally, we have Miss Jane Hall, usually has does some work for the community garden with plots for to help the food pantry. Would like entertain a motion to allow her a couple of beds rent-free in order to do so. We've done this for the past couple of years. She donates all the vegetables to the food pantry.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
And they have some other, she has some other suggestions, which I will hand over to the Beautification Commission to discuss. So I've got a whole thing for you.
Okay.
All right, and Reed, I'm sure you already know this, but there is a new IDA BDC director, Melanie Velarde.
What's the name?
Melanie.
Okay.
And she was the assistant to Mr. Kapora, so she is moving over.
Wow.
I've worked with her on some other projects. She is a very talented person, and expect to do great things over there.
Is she starting right away?
As of Thursday, yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yep. Gary Van Gorder will.
Yeah,
stay
I know
on.
he stepped in
Yeah,
there, so.
and he'll stay on online to help onboard her through the process.
That's good.
All right. Questions by, Jay or Chief Pittman, anything else, or Andrew, anything else?
I'm all set. You wanted to still talk to an exec?
Yep.
I'm all set, Mayor. Thank you.
I'm all set too. I'll call those two individuals, Bob Pittman and Andrew, afterwards in regards to things they know about.
Okay. Thanks, Jay. All right, questions from the media?
Good.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. At this time,
Before you say that, I'm gonna recommend that we turn this meeting off. Still have not got the bug. I'm afraid if we stop streaming, stop recording, it'll still stream. That's what it did a few months back. I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna redo another meeting, send it, and have get Bob access to that. So we'll just do a re-up of that meeting for the exec.
okay,
That's all right. So give me a few minutes to do that, please.
I'll go ahead and need an motion to go into executive session for New York State, in accordance with Public Officers Law, Section 105C, information regarding current or future investigations or prosecutions of a criminal offense which would imperil effective law enforcement if disclosed. D, discussions of proposed pending or current litigation. F, the medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation. And H, the proposed acquisition, sale, or lease of real property, or the proposed acquisition of securities or sale or exchange of securities held by the public body, but only when publicity would substantially affect the value thereof.
Make a motion that we go into exec to discuss all of those matters.
Second.
The time is 6:39, Maureen.
Aye.
All in favor?